Good morning, Ms. Carter. Ma'am, you're charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
Yes, sir. On November 11, 2024, the officer was dispatched to an assault in Harris County, Texas. The officer made contact with the complainant and the defendant. The complainant stated he was in a dating relationship with the defendant since August 4th, 2024. The complainant stated he went to a bar with the defendant and an argument started when the complainant was being nice to a bartender. The complainant stated the defendant did not like that he was being flirtatious. The complainant stated they left the location and the defendant was arguing with him while driving. The defendant kept trying to press the off button on the motor vehicle and the complainant had to pull over to call 911. The complainant stated he kept driving, pulled over at an Exxon gas station and exited the motor vehicle. The complainant walked to cool down while on the phone with 911. The complainant stated he was stopped by the defendant. The defendant pulled on his hoodie strings and the defendant slapped the left side of his face with her open right hand, causing pain. The complainant stated he did not touch the defendant, and the officer observed redness on the complainant's left side of face and a small cut on the inside of his upper lip. The officer observed no visible injuries on the defendant.
And I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Have you guys reached out to the complaining witness?
No, Your Honor. This is a DVD case, and no rip has been attempted.
Okay, Novak?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Carter, until I know that he wants to have contact with you, I'm ordering you not to have any contact with this person. I'm also ordering you not to be in possession of any weapons as well. It looks like a protective order was issued in this case on the 11th of this month. I would get to know it. If you do something to violate the protective order, the state can and will file additional charges against you. Violation of a protective order, and it's one of the worst cases you can pick up. Do you understand?
Yes.
How old are you, ma'am? What do you do for a living?
I don't work.
Why not?
Us being together, he chooses to provide and he doesn't want me to work, so.
How do you support yourself? You're not to have any contact and not to be with him at all. So how are you going to support yourself?
I started applying.
You know what? This life is very short. And if you don't have some kind of education, if you don't have some kind of work experience, this person may not be there for the rest of your life. And you should never, ever have to depend on a man for anything. You should be self-reliant, where you, as a woman, depend on herself, because you never know who's going to end up being there for the next 5 years, 10 years. This person takes off, you're destitute, alone, without anything. I've seen it happen over and over and over. Did you graduate from high school? Okay, it's time for you to start working. I'm making that a condition of your bond. I will have you apply for an appointed lawyer, but I'm going to bring you back in 2 weeks. I want to see what you have done to get a job. You cannot go with this life dependent on any man. You need to have a career for yourself.
I have an upcoming interview.
Good. I want you to start working, and I want you to build yourself a strong career where you don't have to rely on any man for anything. Rely on yourself. That's what life's about. So you can buy nice things yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not depend on any man for any reason.
I was working, but once we got together, he didn't.
Don't. Who cares? Be a strong woman yourself. Why do you have to rely on what this dude says? No. Be yourself, man. You know, have a strong career. Make millions of dollars yourself. You don't have to depend on anyone. All right? All right. I'm going to have you, I need you to fill an application for me. I'll have you talk to a lawyer here momentarily. I'm going to have you sign bond conditions that you're not supposed to have any contact with this person and not in possession of weapons. If I find that you do, I'm telling you now, I'm going to put you in jail. You won't get any more PR bonds. You understand? All right, come on.
Judge, I'm sorry. Was that state's bond conditions?
Yeah, state's conditions. You know what? And I already have an application now. So I'll have you sign a receipt and I'm just going to have you take a seat in the jury box. Okay? No contact, no weapons, get a job.
Yes, sir.
We're stepping straight into a courtroom where one judge isn't just ruling cases, he's shaping lives. Watch how quickly this shifts from legal procedure to real-world consequences.
Kevin Alvarado Campos, or what's your last name?
Alvarado's fine, but
No. What's your birth
Alvarado
name?
Campos.
Okay. So let's do a name change, huh? Alvarado Campos. Sir, you're charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you.
Yes, Judge.
All right. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning. On November 11th, 2024, officers conducted a traffic stop in Harris County, Texas, and made contact with the defendant, the operator of the motor vehicle and sole occupant. The officer observed an odor of marijuana based on training experience, and the officer asked the defendant to step out of the motor vehicle. The officer observed an unholstered pistol between the seat and the driver's side door, and 3 small plastic bags containing marijuana. The weight of the marijuana, 56.8 grams.
Is he on probation? I see.
Not that I see, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Alvarado Campos, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. How old are you, sir?
22.
What do you do for a living? Do you have a Texas driver license? Can you run his license, Alex, please?
Yes, Judge.
I'm ordering you not to drive unless you have a valid Texas driver license and liability insurance in your name. Do you have car insurance in your name? Then you're not allowed to drive, and I'm making that a condition of your bond. If I find that you drive, I'm going to have you arrested. I will put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand? Who do you live with now? Is she here now? How much money do you make a month, sir?
$2,000 to $4,000 a month.
Okay, we're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. If you want to drive, go get liability insurance, come back, show me that you have it, and then we'll allow you to drive. I am ordering you as a condition of your bond not to be in possession of any weapons. Do you understand?
Sure.
That if I find you with a weapon, I will put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. You pick up a new case, start acting the fool. Don't. Do you understand? So this is an affidavit that you're going to sign with me today, promising me that you're not going to drive until you have car insurance and get court approval. Once you do that, I'll take this off. I'm going to have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. We'll have you I'm going to have you take a seat while I get your bond conditions. We'll have you sign them, promising us you're not to have any weapons. And after that, we'll let you go. When you come back, please have a lawyer, sir.
Yes, Judge.
Come on. You file no weapon.
Right off the bat, we're dealing with a domestic violence assault charge serious, but still subject to probable cause, meaning the court is only deciding if there's enough evidence to proceed, not guilt.
Please. Luis Aviles Garay.
Sorry.
So you're charged with driving while intoxicated, second offense. This is a Class A misdemeanor. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. Officers were working an unrelated fatality investigation on Southwest Freeway in Harris County, Texas. And while the officers were on scene, the defendant attempted to pass the police line into the fatality investigation. The officers stopped the driver and observed a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage, glossy eyes, slurred speech, and unsteadiness. Standard field sobriety tests were administered. HGN 6 out of 6, walk and turn 6 out of 8, one leg stand 3 out of 4. The DIC was read and the defendant consented to breath. The results were 0.208 and 0.195. The defendant admitted to drinking 4 beers between 5 and 9 p.m. And during a search of the defendant's person, the officers found a bag of marijuana containing 1.13 grams.
Mr. Aviles Garay, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Do you have a valid Texas driver license, sir?
No.
You speak English, right?
Sir.
Okay. You're not allowed to drive I'm making that a condition of your bond. You will be signing an affidavit with me today promising me you're not going to drive. I don't care what is going on in your life. I don't care what you have to do. You get into a car and drive, I can and will have a contempt hearing. You'll be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Because it's a second offense, I'm ordering you to obtain a handheld interlock device that you're going to take with you everywhere you go to prove to me that you're not consuming alcohol. Likewise, if I find that you're consuming alcohol or any kind of illegal drugs, I'll put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
We are sending notice to DPS now, where every DPS officer will know if you are in a car driving and you don't have an interlock on it, they're going to put you in jail because they know that the law is now, we're going to require you to obtain a guardian interlock. You're not allowed to drive any vehicle that doesn't have an interlock on it. If you're caught driving a vehicle, number one, I'm going to have a contempt hearing. Number two, you'll probably end up going to jail because every officer will know that you need an interlock. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Don't get into a car for any reason. You want to drive, go get a license, get liability insurance, talk to me, and then we can.
I have liability insurance.
It doesn't matter. If you don't have a license, then you can't drive. You can have $15 million in insurance. An insurance company is going to say, man, you're not supposed to be driving anyways. We're not going to cover you in the event that you get into an accident. You have to have a license. Insurance companies deny everybody for every reason. You give them any loophole, they're going to deny any coverage. If you don't have a license, they're going to say, well, you're not supposed to be driving anyways. I don't know how an insurance company would give you insurance when you don't have a license.
Okay.
What do you do for a living?
I work compounding for a fertilizer company.
Okay. What kind of money you make a month?
To 2,000.
Where do you live?
I stay
Who do you live with?
by myself.
Okay. Are you married?
No, sir.
Kids?
Yes, sir.
How many kids you got?
One,
Who's got custody of the child?
my child's mom, both do co-parent.
Do you provide support?
Yes, sir.
How?
Financially wise, and I help.
Is
I
it-
get them every other week.
Is it you
no,
just give-
no, it's just we got an understanding between us.
Okay. You want to apply for an appointed lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Linking an application. I'm telling you now, Mr. Aviles, don't drive. It's the worst possible thing you can do in this short life. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll have you sign all the documents and then I'll have you take a seat in the jury box. Come on.
All right, Judge, next is page 5, Carter.
Notice how this is all built from the complainant's statement, no cross-examination, yet just a structured account forming the basis of the case.
Come on up.
Robert Lee Cobalt.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Cobalt, you're charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, sir.
One moment, Your Honor. Okay, it just loaded.
Cobalt.
Yes. So on November 10th, 2024, the officer was dispatched in reference to a disturbance family call. The officer was in a marked patrol vehicle and wearing an official Houston Fire Department, Houston PD uniform. The officer met with the complainant. The complainant stated that the relationship is as follows. The defendant is her husband of 20 years and the witness is her mother. The complainant stated that her husband, the defendant, was intoxicated and had been drinking for the entire day. The complainant stated that her son-in-law came over and went into her daughter's room. And the complainant further stated that she was in her room and began hearing her husband yelling that no one will watch the football game with him. The complainant stated that she went to go talk to the defendant and talk to him. And the complainant stated that she then observed the defendant banging on the witness's room, yelling and cursing. Furthermore, the complainant stated that she tried to talk to the defendant again in the kitchen and tell him to calm down and leave the house or she will be calling the police. At that point, the complainant stated the defendant stated he will not leave. and the defendant then approached her from the front and pushed her, placing his hand on her chest. The complainant stated she does not remember if it was one hand or two because it happened so fast. The complainant was pushed into the wall and hit her left elbow on the wall. The complainant stated that she felt pain and was in fear for her life.
Tell me the assault again.
So the assault happened whenever she talked to the kitchen. The defendant pushed her against the wall, causing her to hit her elbow, causing pain.
Find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Now, I see that he has a prior assault that was dismissed in 11. Same complaining witness?
It does not appear so, Your Honor.
It does actually look like the same complainant is listed.
Oh, it is, Your Honor. Yes. An Angela Ortiz, yes.
And I see also an aggravated assault from 93. No, not now. Now's not the time.
Your Honor, we don't have any information about the ag assault, just the prior AFM.
So, yay or nay? Because I have different names as far as the assault from.
Your Honor, the prior dismissed assault is with the same complaining witness.
Mr. Kovalt, I want you to understand something that I know that you want to say something.
Yes, sir.
Now's not the time. You know, I've got DAs here. Everything that you say, they're going to use it against you to prove, you know, your guilt. So it doesn't matter how helpful you think you are being to yourself. You may in reality be hurting yourself even worse. And what I'm trying to do is now protect you from yourself.
Yes, sir.
I want you to understand that I'm going to do everything in my power to protect every person of Harris County. And I don't care if that means putting you in jail and making your bond extremely high. Every single person. I am ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to have any contact with this person whatsoever and not to be in possession of weapons. I'm also ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. If I find that you're consuming any kind of alcohol from any source, illegal narcotics, unprescribed controlled medication, I will put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
There is a protective order that has been issued in this case. I would get to know it. If you violate the protective order, the state can and will file additional charges against you. Things will go sideways really, really quick, really fast. So get to know that protective order. Don't violate it, and don't violate any of these conditions we put on your bond. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
What do you do for a living, sir?
Sir,
What do you do for a living?
I'm disabled.
How do you support yourself?
This disability,
How much do you get from disability?
2,700. My wife, we lived together 20 years.
This person here,
Yes, sir.
not anymore, not for the foreseeable future. This
Two affidavits for her and I got two affidavits there for her.
I don't care what you can have something from Jesus. I don't care.
Sir.
I have this protective order that tells you you can't go near the Draycott Lane house. Don't go anywhere near.
Parents right now.
Okay. For the foreseeable future, that's what happens. No contact. If she tries to get a hold of you, hang up the phone. If she texts you, don't reply. Sends you an email, don't reply. You're the one that's going to be sitting in custody in the event that you violate these conditions.
Yes, sir.
If you'd like, you can apply for an appointed lawyer, and we can have you talk to someone today.
Sir.
But just understand, no means no. Do you understand?
Great, I will.
Okay. Did you want to apply for an appointed?
Yes, sir.
Might give you an application. We'll give you an application. I need to know everything about you. I need to know any income that you have from anywhere. I need to know everything about you. I need to know how much money you have in the bank, stocks, bonds, IRAs, mutual funds, what kind of property you have, houses, cars, boats, airplanes, everything I need to know. And I'll look to see if you qualify. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Probable cause is a low threshold, basically. Reasonable grounds to move forward. It's not proof beyond a reasonable doubt, just enough to justify continued legal action.
Until Levette, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to
enfrenta
a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine.
una multa de $4,000.
You guys have worked out an agreement where they're offering you 3 days in jail, credit for how much time?
Crédito,
Credit for the 1 day that you've done.
la que ya
You
cumplí.
need to understand that this charge will go on your record. It will be there for the rest of your life. If you ever get pulled over in a car and an officer sees or smells
Huele
anything funky in the car,
carro.
it's a good possibility that they take you down and charge you with a second offense.
Pensa,
What we're doing today,
estamos haciendo aquí hoy,
from now on, you are facing a minimum of 90 days in jail. Do you understand?
¿entiende? Yes.
So if you're not in this country with permission, you do any more than 4 to 6 hours in custody, you can almost bet yourself that you'll end up with an immigration detainer.
Con un cuestión de inmigración.
You give up a lot of rights by entering this agreement. You give up the right to a trial,
El
right
derecho
to
a un
compel
juicio,
witnesses to testify on your behalf,
testigos,
confront and cross-examine your accusers.
interrogar.
If you are not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country,
Excluidos
denied naturalization under federal law.
federales,
You give up the right to
renuncia a su
appeal.
derecho a apelar.
Once you accept this agreement and once you plead guilty, it will go on your record and you can never take it off.
Jamás podría sacarlo de su récord.
You
¿Lo
understand?
entiende?
Is
Yes.
this what you want to do?
Yes.
Is it true
¿Es
or
verdad
untrue
o no es
that you
verdad?
have a .15 or above?
Más arriba. Yes.
It's true to that enhancement. State on the open
El
camera,
Estado.
you say.
We're abandoning the enhancement.
I want you to understand
Quiero
that
que
they're
usted
abandoning
entienda que están evitando
container allegations.
eso que se alega
And I would hope
trato abierto. Yo espero
Get it through
que usted
your thick
entienda
cabeza
su cabeza
that
bien
you're
gruesa,
not to have
que usted
alcohol
no
in
puede
the car
tomar, tener
while you are
alcohol en el
driving.
carro mientras está manejando.
Do you understand?
¿Se lo entiende? Yes.
I'm going to suspend your license or ability to drive for 180 days.
De manejar por
You are
cierto.
not to drive whatsoever for any reason.
Por
And
ninguna
I'm going to tell you, if you do,
Voy a decir
that
que
in and of itself is a Class B misdemeanor, and you can be right back over here. You come back here with a new case, it's not going to go well, sir.
no le va a ir bien, señor.
Do you understand?
¿Se lo entiende?
How do you plead to the driving while intoxicated? Guilty or not
¿Culpable o
guilty?
no culpable? Guilty.
Find you
Lo
guilty.
encuentro culpable, lo
3 days in
sentencio
jail, give you
a 3 días en la
credit for
cárcel con el crédito para el uno.
1.5 allegation is true.
Diga que es verdad.
Abandon the second enhancement.
El segundo.
What do you do for a living?
¿Qué se dedica usted?
Guardia de seguridad.
I'm a security guard.
What kind of money do you make a month, sir?
¿Qué tanto dinero gana usted al mes, señor?
No, pero hace 2 meses que no trabajo, no estoy trabajando.
It's been 2 months that I have not worked. I'm not working.
Why not?
¿Por qué no?
Porque me sacaron del trabajo.
Because they just took me out of my job.
How do you support yourself?
¿Cómo se mantiene usted?
No, porque trabajamos 3 en la casa.
Because there's 3 of us in the house that work.
You still need to eat.
Pero
How do you
tiene
eat?
que comer, ¿cómo se come? ¿Cómo se alimenta?
Con el dinero de ellos por ahora.
With their money for right now.
I'm asking you these questions because there's a ton of fines and fees that come with the DWI.
De,
I will begrudgingly waive these fees for you now.
yo,
But if you are not smart enough to consider how to get home on a night of drinking like a little child, I will put you over my knee like a little child and I will spank you like a little child, but I will spank you with a ton of jail time. Do you understand?
¿le entiende?
A second DWI, you were looking at around $7,000 in fines and fees. And if you don't pay it, you sit 1 day in jail for every $100 you owe.
$100
Get a clue.
la cárcel.
Every day, someone dies in this county for the DWI.
Por alguien
You
manejar
don't
ebrio.
become a statistic.
No se convierta en una estadística.
Do you
¿Lo
understand?
entiende? Yes.
Judge, if I may, the only thing I would add to this
Lo
is,
único que yo puedo agregar
he
a
had
esto es
a ALR suspension.
una
Would you
suspensión.
give him credit
Se pide
for
que se le
the
daría
time?
crédito por el
I'm not going
tiempo.
to reward him any more
No le
than we're
voy a
doing now.
dar más
No.
nada de lo que yo le
But-
digo.
Don't get into a
Que
car
no
and
se meta en un carro y
don't have a
maneje
license.
si no tiene
Do
licencia.
not drive. I will protect my county in every way, Mr. Lebet. And if that means putting you in custody, I'll do it in a heartbeat.
Eso lo haré.
You need a waiver for the,
Yeah. All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Gracias, señor. Thank you.
Sir. Morning, Judge.
Mr. Newley.
Yes, Judge.
Thank you, Ricardo.
yes, sir, thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
We have a bond violation from Mr. Lazo Muffin.
This is where things pivot. The judge is no longer just adjudicating, advising this kind of courtroom mentorship isn't legally required, but it can be impactful.
Come up, Mr. Lazo Morfin.
Se para aquí. Por favor, conteste a voz alta.
Okay.
Why are you here?
¿Por qué está usted aquí?
Me citaron aquí.
I was summoned here.
Why?
¿Por qué?
No sé.
I don't know.
I have here in front of me
Yo
that you
tengo
are
aquí enfrente de
tampering
mí
with
que
the
estaba bregando
device.
con el aparato.
Este aparato nomás me lo movieron de aquí para el otro pie.
This
Allá en
device
la
was
oficina.
just moved from this leg to the other one there
la
at the
oficina.
office, at the office.
En la oficina.
I have here that you are tampering with the device at 1 in the morning.
No,
A
ya
la
no.
1 de la madrugada.
Oh, no.
Oh, no,
No.
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 I have here different.
Aquí, algo
Sí,
diferente.
pero yo no he hecho nada.
No,
he
but I
hecho
haven't
nada
done
yo.
anything.
No he hecho nada yo.
I haven't done anything.
Nada he hecho.
Machine tells me
Ella me
differently.
dice algo diferente.
Sí, pero no he hecho nada.
No, but I haven't done anything.
Nada he hecho yo.
I haven't done anything.
Y seguro que no he hecho nada.
I'm sure that I haven't done anything.
He said they switched it. That's
He
all he
said-
knows.
Que lo único que
But
sé es que le
that's-
cambiaron de un pie a otro.
Sí, eso sí, se lo cambiaron.
Yeah, they just moved them.
Es lo único.
That's the only thing.
Pero yo no he hecho nada.
When are you telling me that they moved the device?
Me dice que movieron ese aparato.
Hace como 2 semanas.
It's been about 2 weeks.
Sí.
That's about right, Judge.
Tamper was a month ago, and they're just now getting
Como
us
un mes atrás.
tampered. I have here
Yo
that the
tengo
tamper
aquí
was
que, ¿verdad? Eso
on
fue
October 18th.
el 18 de octubre.
Mr. Lazo Morfin, I
Señor
want you to
Lazo, yo
understand
quiero que
above
usted
all
entienda.
else, do not consume alcohol.
Alcohol.
Do not consume.
I haven't drank any alcohol.
I want you to listen.
Quiero que usted escuche. lo que estoy diciendo.
Sí.
I don't want you to consume alcohol. I don't want you to consume anything that has alcohol in it.
Tenga alcohol.
And I don't want you to mess with the machine. If there are any more tampers with the machine,
De bregar con la
it's
mano.
not going to go well. Do you understand?
¿Pero entiende?
Sí, yo lo entiendo.
Yes, I
Do
understand.
not put anything in between the machine and your skin. Make sure that clothing does not get stuck in the machine.
La máquina,
It is your responsibility to know what to do and what not to do.
él no puede hacer.
Do you understand?
¿Entiende?
Sí, yo lo entiendo.
Yes, I understand.
All right,
Está bien.
Sonuli, we'll continue with the bond.
Va a seguir
Yes,
bajo fianza.
Just
Va a seguir, va a
admonish him
continuar.
accordingly. Any more
Pero
issues?
tenerlo de acuerdo,
Ya
que no
que tengo
tenga
que arreglar
problemas.
y ahí no tengo.
It's just that I have it here and that's all. That's,
Okay,
All right, thank you, Judge.
thank you, Mr.
está bien,
Miller.
señor. Buena suerte.
Question for you: should judges stay strictly neutral, or is this kind of life advice actually helpful in cases like this?
Good morning, Mr. Macero. Do you have a lawyer today?
No, hoy. No,
Tell me what you're doing about that.
haciendo acerca de ello.
What are you doing about that? You need a lawyer to represent you in this case.
Todo que lo represente en el caso.
Así que no tengo ahorita dinero para pagar el abogado.
I don't have the money right now to pay for a lawyer.
Did you even look for a lawyer?
Trato de buscar por uno.
Traté, pero me cobró muy caro.
I tried, but they're charging me too much. ¿Con cuántos has hablado?
Con dos.
With two.
That's not enough.
Eso no es suficiente.
They need to talk to
Puede
10.
ser de que necesite hablar con 10, puede ser que tenga que hablar con 15.
There's a
Hay
bajillion and one who lives in Harris County.
abogados
And
aquí en Puerto Rico, y
99% of them will
99%
put you on a
lo
payment plan,
pondrán bajo un plan de pago.
pay as you go. But it's like anything in life. You don't go to a Ferrari dealership when you're buying your first car.
De Ferrari cuando está comprando su
There
primer.
are Ferrari lawyers, and then there are the Yugo lawyers. It's a matter of calling,
Es asunto de llamar,
negotiating with them. Don't take them at first blush, and then you negotiate a payment.
el primer precio puede negociar un plan de pago.
But that's what's required.
Eso es lo que está requerido.
Okay.
Okay.
So 2 is just insufficient. So go out there, try to see what you can do.
De ver qué es lo que puede
If
hacer.
you have any more issues, you can always come back and we can talk again.
Ahí podemos platicar.
But I would like you to make at least a concerted effort to see what you can do.
Tan lejos y muy poco tengo tampoco ahora porque como no puedo manejar.
The other issue is that my work is far away. I can't drive right now, and so I have to take less
You
work.
have a Texas driver license.
¿Licencia de conducir de Texas? No.
I'm asking you to follow the law.
Estoy pidiendo de que siga la ley.
So it's not my fault.
Es mi culpa.
Always get something
Usted
closer.
puede buscar algo más cerca también.
Just because your job may be 45 minutes away, there are closer jobs as well.
Cerca también.
Have you not tried to look for something closer?
Puede buscar algo más cerca. Okay.
But what do you do with yourself these
¿Qué es
days?
lo que hace?
Trabajo construcción.
I work in construction.
Okay, and how much money do you make a month?
Gana al mes.
Me da 800.
800.
Who do you support in your life?
¿Quién
No,
depende de usted?
perdón, al mes no. A la semana.
It's not a month, it's per week.
Okay, so you make nearly $2,500 a month.
Gana alrededor de 2,500 al mes.
You support anyone?
¿Apoya a alguien? ¿Depende de alguien de usted?
Mi familia que está en Venezuela.
My family in Venezuela.
Okay, I'm at here. Who do you support?
Aquí, aquí. A daughter.
Okay, are you married?
No.
Who has custody of the daughter?
¿Quién tiene tutoría de su hija?
No, es mayor.
She's older.
So you support yourself.
Entonces apoya a sí mismo.
Sí.
Yes.
I want you to give it a
Quiero
try.
de que intente
Not there.
y vea lo que
Have any more
encuentra.
issues, you can always come
Y
back.
si tiene problemas puede regresar a la próxima cita.
Ok.
It's now nearly 1
Ya
o'clock.
son casi las 1 de la tarde. Es de tarde.
We can also send you home with an application as well. Fill it out, and then we can take a look at it upon your return. All right.
Financial dependency is one of the most common underlying factors in domestic violence cases. The judge is addressing something deeper than the charge itself.
Are you Francisco de Jesus Guerrero Gonzalez? Sir, you are wanted out of Maricopa, Arizona. I want you to know that you're not here alone. Your lawyer's here with you, but she is on Zoom at this point. Your lawyer is asking me to set you a bond, but I don't know. I don't know anything about you, and I have to get to know you in a very short period of time. The way we do that is by looking how you are on paper, because that tells me a lot of who you are, what you wanted, and your prior criminal history. So, Dave, tell me about Mr. Guerrero.
Your Honor, he's wanted for 4 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor, dangerous crimes against children, class felony 2. I spoke with Maricopa County Attorney's Office, and they state that they don't oppose him getting a bond, surprisingly. However, I have some reservations. I spoke with Pari about this. Is at the time he was arrested, is that he had an open flight to Mexico, and so regarding the severity of the charge and his ability to obviously leave the jurisdiction of America, is that I'd have reservations regarding his.
Well, we can always make him surrender a passport.
And that's what Pari was saying is him surrendering.
And I do have an update on that day, and I apologize for not telling you earlier about it. I can tell you now in front of the judge, but whenever you're done, I'll let you know.
No, I mean, that's if you want to.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Judge, here's the thing. I think the reason that jurisdiction's not opposed is because he's been under investigation for 2 years for this. And in fact, he already has an attorney there that I've spoken to. So normally in these scenarios, when you're working so closely with the jurisdiction, the times that I've done it here in Houston, out of consideration for the client and the attorney, normally when they end up filing the warrants, they let the attorney know. That's the reason that you get an attorney preemptively in the first place. I don't know why that didn't happen, but there's absolutely no reason to think he's not going to turn himself in. He's 25 years old with no criminal history. He went to college in Arizona State. Judge, when he graduated, he stayed there and he worked as the press secretary for the Mexican consulate. The reason he had the ticket, and I wanted to verify before telling you, is it was already booked. It was a round trip ticket. The ticket back to Mexico was set for yesterday. He would never buy a ticket while he's in custody to go to Mexico.
Was this a 2B or was this already an open charge?
No. It was, they literally just filed the warrant. He has been under investigation for 2 years. They just filed the warrant. And for some reason, they didn't tell the attorney he was working with so that he could set up a time to turn himself in, which they usually do. In fact, when she found out about it, she called when she found out he was in custody, and that jurisdiction told the attorney, her name is Melanie, that the charge is still unfiled. So I don't know where the misunderstanding came, but the warrant was literally just filed. If he knew about it, there was no way.
There's no misunderstanding. They're just, he had a flight, but they filed the case in between.
Right.
Exactly. So, and just so you know, Judge, so he got picked up on the flight in. Like, he came to the U.S. on Thursday. He was set to go back to Mexico Sunday. And the reason for that, just so you know, is because just so you know, his mom lives in America. His stepdad is an ER physician. He's going to be staying with them. He will surrender his passport. But when he didn't know this was all going on, his biological father has 7 bakeries in Mexico. So he was helping his dad that's why he was in Mexico. But he has no issue staying here. He has family here. He has ties here. He already has an attorney. So
Aria, we're good. We're good. Are you okay?
I mean, the demanding jurisdiction is okay with it.
You're right.
Like I said, I just have reservations regarding the severity of the charge. I understand what Party is saying, but if the demanding jurisdiction is open for a bond, I just defer to the court regarding setting a bond.
Also, about the charges, one more thing about the charges. They read way worse than they are. I'm not saying it's an okay charge. I just am telling you that I spoke to the attorney, and that's the way they word possession of child pornography. I just want the court to know that this is not a case where there's actual 4 victims. That's their version of possession.
So I, for me at least, I want surrender of the passport.
100%.
And then we'll set a bond.
Would someone be here to surrender that now to the clerk's office, or?
Let me ask him where it is, and I can have someone there because I don't know where his passport
So
physically
let's
is.
do this. I'll have him put back and you can talk to him in the back.
Okay.
Let's figure out the logistics and then we can come back and set the bond. But I'm not going to set it until I know it's been surrendered. Someone else has possession of it, and then we can set the bond for you.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Judge.
Well, because the other part, more for the court is that if there is an intention to set a bond, that I can let the demanding.
You're okay?
Well, no, just in terms of, like I said, I just have my reservations because of the severity of the charge. But regarding the bond, is that the demanding jurisdiction is about halfway into the governor's warrant. Apparently, they won the battle bad enough that they already started working on it, and so they're about halfway through. It's already got the process from the county attorney side, and so I just so that I can let them know if the court does set a bond, I can tell them to stop working on it, or at least pause it so that they don't put extra.
I mean, I'm okay with it if you are, and Paria obviously is, right? Just we need to figure out what the amount is, but first things first is the surrender of the passport, and then we go from there.
Do you want me to stand down? Do you want to reapproach today, or do you want to?
No, we'll reapproach today. Let me talk to him about where it is. It may be in his property if he was stopped at the airport. So let me figure that out, and I'll reapproach.
I got to approach with Abel later anyway, so I'll hang around.
All right.
Okay, I'll be quick. Bye.
I still need admonition too, by the way. Would you find out, Paria?
Unlawful carrying typically depends on licensing location and context. Even possession can become illegal depending on circumstances.
So the family has, his mom has a really dear friend who lives here. So I'm going to give her the instructions. The passport is in the property room. So I'm going to give her the instructions for him to go. He has to sign over the property release. she'll get the passport. I'm hoping today. And then I'm hoping tomorrow morning at 8:30, she'll be in the courtroom because you want her to turn it over to the clerks, right?
Yes.
And then I'm hoping.
So
that-
you want to basically turn it over to the clerks?
Oh, and that's where that's where they're supposed to surrender it and for pickup. And so until they get it, I would have, again, additional objections.
Do you mind if we just negotiate the bond amount now, knowing we're not going to set it that way his parents can know? And I'll hop back on Zoom tomorrow as well. That's fine once the passport is in, but just so to have an idea of what the bond's going to be.
That's fair, yeah. So I talked with Paria a little offline about it, and so ultimately, I would have issues with going down further than 25,000, just because the nature of the charges and the fact that there are 4 counts of them. But ultimately, if the demanding jurisdiction is okay with him getting a bond, I mean, I can't really argue against that. So, I mean, it's their case. But that's what I told Paria is. That's where I stand.
Sure. And Judge, I understand that this is not a case where it's going to be set at $500. So I understand the bond needs to be reasonable. We were asking for 10,000, right?
25,000 today? She wants 10,000?
Yes.
So we'll split the puppy. 15.
15? Yes, Judge.
15,000?
Yeah, but I'm not setting it yet.
Just so you know, Francisco, right, tomorrow. So Francisco, just so you know, your mom's friend is going to come by and pick up your passport. I'm going to text your family and explain how that is. And then once it gets surrendered tomorrow, we'll set your bond.
Understand that once you guys surrender the passport, I can set you a bond, and I want you to understand that we take this absolutely serious. We give you 2 weeks from the date of your release to go surrender yourself or post bond in Arizona.
Gotcha.
You're old enough to understand that actions have consequences. If you fail to do this, I will revoke this bond. You're going to be out all that money. I will issue a nationwide warrant for your arrest, and I'm going to get you. And this time, I won't do this again. You get one opportunity, and if you fail to go do it, we set bond at 0, and the next time I will hold you until Arizona comes and gets you. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so we'll set you for tomorrow to wait for the passport, and then we'll go from there. Okay?
Thanks, Paria.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
See
Faria.
you tomorrow, guys. Thank you, guys.
All right.
They can surrender to at the civil courthouse.
Good morning.
Hi, Abel.
All right, so this one's gonna actually be a bigger problem than the other one. So Gustavo Green currently is wanted out of
You have him now? He's in custody?
He's in custody. So today was the original date for pickup for Nebraska. But turns out there was a miscommunication. So on the front cover of the fugitive packet, it showed that he was wanted out of Sarpy, Nebraska, which is true, he is. However, the detainer placed by the sheriff's office was for Douglas County. He's also wanted out of a 3rd county. So because of the miscommunication, a teletype was sent out and they just didn't pick him up. However, obviously they're rushing. So there's a couple scenarios. The first,
But why does he have to suffer because someone at the sheriff's office messed up?
but the issue part of this is the only hold that was actually placed from the sheriff's office was Douglas. So the ones for Sarpy hasn't been placed yet, and they didn't know, otherwise they would have come to pick him up. So I've talked to a sergeant at Douglas County and an officer in Sarpy County, and so I'm still trying to Sarpy County, and they're still trying to figure out if Sarpy County is able to get here faster than Douglas County, but Douglas County actually—
You're making a bunch of assumptions.
Well, but for Douglas County, they were able to confirm like today, because originally they were supposed to come on the 20th, but because of miscommunication, when we followed back up on them, they originally were going to come on the 20th, but now it has to be the 26th, which again, I understand.
You're assuming I'm not going to give him a PR bond right now.
Right. So, for the 26th within the 30 days. But the issue is because the Sarpy hold and I can't remember what the name of the county for the 3rd one. It starts with a P or Ponta. But all that's to say is because those haven't been placed yet, if they get placed today, then he gets set for arraignment again, and then he gets.
Oh no! Yeah, but so I'm going to give him a PR bond right now.
Right. That's what I mean. It's like, and so at that point, I don't know which is gonna answer first. So
yeah. I mean, why does he have to suffer because someone at the sheriff's office messed up? It's like my child.
So it's one of those, I don't even know which end. And all that's to say is like, so because the front page cover from whomever the arresting officer was, they put Sarpy, but I guess how they selected which hold, because all 3 are verified. Like he's wanted in 3 counties in Nebraska. That's that's already been confirmed, is I don't know how they made the selection on which one, because sometimes they put all 3 or 2 or however many at the same time. And that's typically what I would advise, but I have no control over how they do it. And so they just chose to put this one in and not the other 2, which I do show as a background hold. They still are placed. And so even if the court does give a PR bond today, because at least one of them is at a background hold, it will automatically trigger once he makes bond on this one, they'll automatically file the next one. And if the court decides to give a PR bond, obviously, that's the court's decision. I'm just letting you and Abel know is that that's how it's going to be triggered for the sheriff's office, which I have no control over. So
Am I bringing them out?
yeah. So I didn't know this until today, because obviously today was the original date for pickup, and that's why
What's your position, Abel?
I would concur with your assessment. I think that the state had their shot. And by the state, I mean...
It's all about fairness, right?
So
at the end of the day...
I'm presenting the facts as they present themselves. So
I think that...
Judge, I'm sorry, Judge. If another hold does pop up, I'd request that you give a PR bond on that. And then if another one pops up for the other different county he's wanted out of as well. I mean, again...
Right. Well, and obviously, if that's the way, I'm just letting you and the court know is that because it triggers the case to be filed, it has to be brought back for arraignment again. Like, I'm not disputing that could happen or likely will happen, I'm just saying, regardless of that happening, it's going to trigger another arraignment date because it hasn't been filed yet. It's still just put as an it's already put as a hold. And so that's why once it hits the 035 hold, it's going to get filed again. So it's going to get cycled back. That's why I don't know. I mean, either today or tomorrow morning. I can't, again, I have no control over the sheriff's office. I can't.
So
Here officers are relying on observable indicators odor of marijuana visible firearm and physical evidence each strengthening probable cause independently.
And the charges that he's wanted for are sexual assault of a child in the first degree, sexual assault, strangulation, and now we have...
And the other ones are a violation of, one of them is similar to contempt and one of them is violating a court order. I want to say bond, but I'm not sure. So the other ones are FTA. And
unbelievable how someone can just pooch that.
And so, and for what it's worth, for this case, he actually was in this court 4 years ago for the same offense that he's now wanted again. And at that point, he was already wanted as a fugitive in South Dakota. He was on in another state for the same warrant where he was apprehended there and then here, or vice versa, and then he was taken back. So he's already been a fugitive twice on top of the 3 open warrants.
And here we are yet again, and still...
And I just, yeah.
Unbelievable.
That said, I wanted to make sure all the facts were out there. So I didn't know until this morning. Because for the holds, we don't get to see, especially for multi-county holds, is we can't see which county selected because on our hold screen, it only shows what state. So that's why it's important for the multi-jurisdictional ones.
Things need to change, Day.
So that's why as soon as we found out, I reached out to both, and that's why I'm standing here instead of Amy, just because of how much of a problem it is. And so that's why I made sure to get firm dates for Douglas County, because they're the ones that already have the hold. And I wanted to make sure that it was still within the statutory 30 days before I made any approaches. And so I haven't gotten a call back from Sarpy. I don't know if it's because they use the same transport company and it was just a matter of communicating, or if they're trying to get an investigator, lieutenant, or somebody to bring them over.
Ultimately, what happened, someone messed up in your case and they let the wrong county know and gave wrong information to the wrong county. So as a result, we have to give you a PR bond. But I'm going to tell you now, these charges will always be in warrant status until you take your happy ass on up to, where is it?
It's Nebraska.
To Nebraska, man.
I have my attorney here.
I don't care if you have an attorney. I don't care if you have Jesus on your side. You have to go to Nebraska.
I'm headed there.
In fact, these charges will remain out there for the rest of your life until you make it up to Nebraska.
Understood.
So, Your Honor, just even though it is a PR bond, what amount will you be putting for the PR bond?
It's inconsequential. I don't know.
Because in the event that it doesn't, it still gets revoked. And so just trying to figure out what to put on our...
You have an amount?
Abel?
$1,000?
That's what I mean. I mean, I was, especially considering that there's 3 counties. I mean, if it's inconsequential for the number for the court, then I would ask to be set at 100,000 because of severity and the fact that he has 2 prior fugitives for the same offense that he's FTA on, and the fact that he has 2 other ones.
Okay,
So-
I'm gonna set it at 50,000, Abel, okay? Regardless, I'm giving you a PR bond now, but these, like I said,
I'm gonna, do you want him to reapproach when I print out the reset? I guess I'll do the reset for returning himself. So if,
no, let's just get everything done now.
okay, I
You know?
have to type
Yeah,
it up.
take
that's
your
what I
time,
mean.
no rush, you know? But like I said, these charges will remain out there until you take care of it, you know? You remain in Harris County, you will continue to get picked up, and you're gonna continue to sit there over and over and over, and these charges have been open since what, 2000 and?
Well, the last fugitive case was 2020. I don't know when the charge started, but that's, but also, like I said, we might end up showing up tomorrow for the exact same thing, or what day is today? I can't even, Wednesday, whenever they file it and then they bring them up for the holdover for processing. So I don't know, I want to be upfront, is that we're going to go through this again at some point. And at that point, maybe we'll get an answer from Sarvik. I don't know. But if I could just have 5.
How long would it take for them to get up here anyway?
That's what I said. The new date is the 26th. It's still within the 30 days. That's what I mean. It's still within the statutory days allotted. It's yeah. And of course, the initial communication was to a correct county, not the county on the front page of the fugitive packet, but it was sent to that county. I guess there was a miscommunication on either who would send it out or when the court would allow it. So I don't know, because that's their end. I don't get to control what they do, but Douglas County was correctly informed. Let's see, so reset, surrender.
If they file new charges from the other counties, Abel, I don't know about other PR bonds though, you know, I am in this case because of the mix up, right? But I don't know about other ones, you know?
Right. I don't exactly. I don't know if he's be entitled to one
So
as well.
Just get on it, doggone it.
Well, because if we do, well, it does matter, because if he's intending to do it and he's held on the other one, because if he withdraws his waiver to permit the bond today, then we're going to go back to this again, because he's going to be held on one. Well, I guess it wouldn't matter, because they would start their 14 days if judge.
No, right. They're 14 days.
What I'm saying, another 14 days would kick in.
Right. For the
new
county.
Right. Okay. Okay.
It does.
Let me okay, let me write this up real quick.
I'm giving you a PR bond, right? If they let you out, they let you out. But if they file new charges between now and from the time that you're processed, then you're still going to be held because you're still wanted out of other counties. So if they're get it quick enough, because I don't know how long it'll take them, it'll still kick in. I don't know. So can you set bond at 50,000, please? Okay.
I'm still typing it up. If you want, I can.
But take your time. We're not sending him anywhere, so we can still have him sign everything today. It's not.
I can. Well, I don't know. Are you waiting to approach or?
Yeah. All right. So we're just waiting for
But
whatever.
don't send him down. We can have him sign stuff here momentarily. We're just gonna have him sign the reset, Abel, and then we'll.
And the PR bond.
Yeah.
Yes. Understood. Thank you, Judge.
And then if they get it quick enough, then hey.
Right.
Okay. Thanks, Abel.
Yes, sir. Thank you.